Now at 6, we start with breaking news as President Donald Trump landed in Anchorage to refuel at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport. Our crews were there as Air Force One made its landing around 5:20 this evening. The president is on his way to Beijing, China. It will be his first visit there since 2017. Trump will meet with President Xi Jinping. They last met face-to-face last year during a meeting in South Korea. The two are expected to discuss trade issues, the self-ruled island of Taiwan, and the conflict in Iran. We will monitor any developments and we'll have more on our website and the late edition. Alaska lawmakers say the conflict in Iran is contributing to what they're calling an energy crisis on an extraordinary and unprecedented scale for rural Alaska's future. That was said in a letter sent to the congressional delegation on today. Noting surging gas prices, it urges additional funds from a federal program to help rural Alaska. The conflict in Iran has surged prices across the state. In places like western and northern Alaska, the price of fuel can be more than $17 per gallon. That number could soon rise to around $20. In some places, fuel could become unavailable. Lawmakers have two different plans to help the situation, but many say it won't be enough. The House majority argues it's up to Alaska's U.S. senators and lone representative to aid the state.
If the worst case scenario actually plays out and fuel prices continue to increase basically exponentially, you're looking at everything in Bush, Alaska in particular, becoming so much more expensive that people are simply going to not be able to afford the items.
Senators Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan tell us they've received the letter. They say they're working with the administration and fuel suppliers to come up with solutions. Representative Nick Begich has not returned comment. For more on lawmaker reactions, visit our website or mobile app. And temperatures are taking a warm turn in some parts of the state, but will it become more widespread? Please, please, please. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry is tracking what we can expect in the next few days.
Yeah, I know everyone is hoping so. I'm hearing from a lot of you going, where is the heat? Where is spring? We are certainly seeing unseasonably cool temperatures here across South Central, and the rain too. Just look at the contrast between Anchorage and Fairbanks. Mid-60s in Fairbanks, mid-40s in Anchorage today. We've got low 40s in Portage with that rain coming down. Juneau seeing pretty pleasant conditions though today with that sun shining bright and high temperatures back into those upper 50s. Now that radar showing heavy rain pushing into Prince William Sound today as it has continued since this morning. Just a chance for a quick drizzle, quick shower moving through Anchorage and the valley. And zooming out, we're not seeing any widespread weather alerts aside from what's coming in from breakup season. Again, the ice is on the move on both the Kuskokwim and the Yukon rivers, two places that you need to stay on high alert. As for that rainfall in South Central today, it's already 1.73 inches of rain today in Portage. Again, such a huge contrast from Anchorage and the valley, which are being blocked by the mountains from that rain pushing further north and west. Now, as we head overnight tonight into tomorrow, you can see that heavy rain. It does continue for Whittier, Seward, and Cordova, and then we'll continue to see that through most of the day, Wednesday into Thursday. Anchorage, partly sunny, highs in the low 50s, back to those mid-60s in Fairbanks. Rain showers return to Juneau tomorrow. In Bethel, you'll see some light rain as well, but warmer, with highs back into the low 50s. And I'll have a closer look at the rest of the week and hopefully some warmer temperatures here in a few minutes.
Developing tonight, one day after a grand jury declined to indict a Wasilla teen on a series of felony charges, who police say shot and killed his best friend as the two trained on self-defense at a birthday party. Prosecutors have dropped a final misdemeanor weapons charge. Court records show the prosecution dismissed its final charge against the teen, misconduct involving weapons. In court records, police say the 17-year-old shot 21-year-old Dominic Murray during a party while practicing gun self-defense. Murray later died. Charging documents show the 17-year-old was originally charged with manslaughter, first-degree assault, and a weapons misdemeanor. According to the case's prosecutor, the teen was initially charged as an adult. Alaska's news source is also working to learn whether the felony charges the grand jury declined to indict on could be refiled. We have reached out to the district attorney and defense attorney, but have not heard back, and we will keep you updated. A Kodiak woman has been sentenced to 15 years in federal prison on a drug conspiracy case prosecutors say ended with a deadly fentanyl overdose in August of 2022. Ashley Kotelnikoff pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute controlled substances, resulting in death. A federal judge adopted the government's recommended sentence of 180 months plus 5 years of supervised release. In court, the defense pushed for a much shorter prison term. They argue Kotelnikov's addiction and personal circumstances should be weighed in sentencing. Prosecutors say the stiffer sentence is meant to send a warning to dealers that selling fentanyl can carry steep consequences when someone dies.
This case is a tragic example of the saying that one pill can kill. The victim took what appears to have been one fentanyl pill and lost his life from that. I think a sentence like this goes a long way towards sending a message to other drug dealers in the community that they will be held accountable for what they do.
Kotelnikov's co-defendant, Gary Pugel, was sentenced earlier this year to 20 years in federal prison in the same Kodiak death case. A Fairbanks man is dead and his significant other in custody after a stabbing incident over the weekend. Police responded to a home on Stewart Street Sunday morning. They found 42-year-old Jonathan Wright with a stab wound in his chest that led to his death. Police linked Audrey Sheldon to the crime. She's been charged with second-degree murder. Sheldon is being held at the Fairbanks Correctional Center and is being represented by the Public Defender's Office in Fairbanks. They have not responded to our request for comment. The Jesse Lee home opened in Seward in 1926. The orphanage and boarding school closed after the 1964 earthquake, and the vacant buildings were torn down in 2020. Around that same time, the Jesse Lee home cemetery was rediscovered after more than 60 years forgotten. Now the local Alaskan Native tribe is stepping in to change that.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, echoing through what looks like a forest, but it's not a forest.
For decades, hidden by time and overgrowth, Alaskan Native children who attended the Jesse Lee Orphanage from 1926 to 1965 have silently been buried here with no recognition or markers.
Members of the Kitichak Native tribe in Seward gathered on Missing and Murdered Indigenous Peoples Remembrance Day.
About 6 years ago, I found out this was a burial site for the Jesse Lee home, and you couldn't even tell.
The boarding school is long gone. Tall trees measure how much time has passed.
We came in the first year and got 27 loads of debris out.
They've spent 6 years looking for the lost children in the Jesse Lee home cemetery.
The only gravesite is this one over here, and that was from a nurse that was working at the Jesse Lee home.
The grave markers gone.
At some point, somebody came in and removed those markers to protect them, but unfortunately, they didn't make a plot map.
So they search. A couple of partnerships have helped.
We've only got one part, which is right over there, that has been the LIDAR, the ground penetrating.
Using metal detectors and LIDAR, they are starting to get an idea of how many children are buried here.
I believe right now we're at 41 confirmed children in this area.
Tiny plastic flags mark the locations.
Please feel free to walk around and place them wherever you would like.
And on this day, red carnations are added to let the lost know they are remembered.
We might not ever know where each person is buried, but the goal is to know who is buried here.
The hope is to turn this forgotten space into a place of healing.
The maintenance represents so much more to us. It's a healing act of remembrance, stewardship, and honor.
Working to find what once was lost.
None found.
Eric Soule, Alaska's news source.
On April 13th, the Seward City Council started the process of transferring the land to the Kitichak Native tribe. The tribe will continue its efforts this summer to identify additional graves.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.